So, review lang tayo ng konti So we were talking about the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? The 7, the regular. And then for a chord to be formed, it requires the 1, 3, 5 note, or the do, mi, sol, right? And then we even showed this the keyboard part that says here that, have you checked this in the keyboard that there's the 1 octave has like I mentioned, has like this, the 2 black, and then there's a space after, then the 3 blacks, a space, 2 blacks. So basically that's the 1, 2, 3 to 8. And then yung reference natin na sharp means 1 note higher, but in guitar that's 1 fret. Going forward now, like for example, G sharp or B flat. So from G, you just move 1 fret, that will become G sharp. And if B, it will go down B flat. And again with the 1, 3, 5, we also mentioned that the mi and fa, or the 3 and the 4, there's no black thing in the keyboard, so to say it's very close. So when we say B sharp, that's a C. And when we say C flat, that's a B. Remember? That's a B. Getting me? So for the E, when you say E sharp, that's F, and when you say F flat, that's E. That's E. Okay, and we discussed the 1, 3, 5 Fury. So I mean to say the 1, the first, the third, and the 5th note comprises the chord, right? And so no question for that. So have you checked the chords E, A, G, B, C? They're all having the 1, 3, 5 note. For the E to become minor, you'll have to locate the 3rd note and make it flat. Right? And also in A, you have to locate the 3rd note. So when I say making the 3rd note flat, so in a form of a chord, there's 2 strings that are pressed, and there's 2 3rd note that are pressed. Then you have to flat those two strings. So let me before we move forward, let me go back. So we discussed about the 5 forms of a chord, right? So why did we choose, or why did I say E, A, G, B, C? So we'll start from there. In the chord, there's what we call the bar chords and the open chords, or the, shall I say, clip chord. It differs on which term you want to use. I grew up with using the word as we call it, open or clip. So anyways, let me go back. So we have this called open chords, and what's the opposite of open? Close. To make it simplified, when you say open, you don't use a clip. In clip, you don't clip. That's open chords. When we say, instead of using the word close, it's opposite. We use clip chords. Or in some music books, they say bar chords. Or the other term for that one is movable chords. Okay? So when I say open chords, these are open chords like G, D. I didn't clip anything. Clip, when I say clip, is you press on the 6 strings. So if I don't clip, then that's open. So D. So among the 5, those are basically open chords. D, C, I'm not clipping. G, E, and A. Okay, agree. Now, what are the clip chords, or shall I say that the synonym is bar chords or the movable chords? Between the chords E, A, G, D, and C, it's the chord E and A are the clip are derivative from the clip chords. How? E, this is the how we used to hold the E, right? But in technicality, the proper way of holding E is like this. Why? Because it's a derivative from a clip chord. This is your clip. So if I go to F, it's like this. So if I go to F sharp and G, make sense?
Yeah.
But since it's close to the, what you call this one, in the fingerboard, it's close to the tuning part, tuning neck. It's hard if you're gonna do like this, hold like this, right? So you hold like this to make ease for your hand, but once you move, you shift. Now, what's the other form for the clip? The clip chord is the A chord. A chord is a derivative from another form of a clip chord. So remember A, we used to hold like this, but in technicality it's like this because it's derived from, it's a clip. So if I go move forward, this is already a B flat, and then becomes a C. B, then becomes a C. Make sense? Okay, so to make it simpler, I usually call it which form, the F form or the B form. So when you say clip chords, it's an F form or a B form. F form because F, or a B form because it's just common, B. Got it? So these are the called the clip chords or the movable chords. Why with movable chords? Because you can move. And you don't change that much of the form. It's just the fret, same as here. And if you're gonna try to digest the chord, like for example G, is this a 1-3-5 note? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got the 5. Then, so another 1. So I hit the 3. So they're all 1, 3, 5. So in this form, this is the 5th. No. In this form, this is the 3rd. You have to remember. We're using okay. So let's imagine this blue is your 3rd finger, or the middle finger, okay? So if I form a form of F, so that one, that one, that one, and this one is, now if I'll say go like that, that's a clip. Okay? So the form is like this. So in this form of chords, the 3rd, where your middle finger is your 3rd note. And so if you're gonna make it into a minor, what's the rule for the minor? You know, from here becomes like this, the Spider-Man thing. The Spider-Man, so we don't forget. So I mean to say the third note will become sharp. So since this is the third finger is we'll have to make it sharp, and based on our discussion earlier, when we say sharp, flat. Correction. The third note should be flat. So remember our discussion, when we say flat, it means 1 fret down, right? Agree?
Yeah.
So I mean to say this third finger should go flat, so 1 fret down, because this is the tuning area. So it should go here.
Yeah.
So since it's part of the clip already, so you just have to remove your third finger, and that makes it a minor. Make sense? So a minor. So mean to say, if I'm doing this, an F, in this clip form, this is the third note. So I have to make it into flat, make it a minor, so I have to move over here. But this is part of the clip already, so it's automatically a minor already. Make sense? Okay. Now if we go to the other form of clip, which is the B clip, the B form. Remember, you don't strum the first string, okay? If this is the kind of chord you want to play. So start from the second. It's like when you clip. Remember, this is E is a derivative from here, right? You can strum everything, so all strings should sound. So when you go to F, it should also sound all.
There you go.
Let me go back for the clip chord in the form of F. The crucial finger is the third, because this is where everything happens to make it a minor. So if I just move here, it becomes a minor. Now in the B form, like this, the crucial is the third and my pinky, the fifth. So what happened is, in the B form, it appears as like this, right? The fifth note is the third note is your fifth finger. So this should be flat to make it a minor. Go here. But it's hard in a finger position to move it flat. So that's why the third finger should go down and the other two fingers should go up to make a minor. Make sense? I wanna make this to a minor. This is the third note. Ideally, I should move my pinky, but it's hard with my finger. So to have an axis, I have to move here down, and these two go up. Okay. So when you see a chord, let's say C sharp. So where's the C sharp? Can you give me a C sharp? C sharp, C sharp, and then make it into a minor. That's the form, right? And if I want the C sharp but in an F clip form. Okay, let's go back. So we already covered the clip form or the B form or the barred form or the movable form. Oh, that's power. So I'm gonna explain to you how did the chord C and D form. You know the D?
C.
This is the D, right? Actually, D is the technical form of D is should be like this. You clip the last and you put the third.
Oh.
Why did I say that? Because the original form for this one is like this.
Oh. What?
My pinky is on the second string. My fourth finger is on the third string, and the form D. Got it? So I'll start. Aaron.
This is worse.
Aaron, the last three strings you clip with your fingers. Clip, and the next is put my middle finger on the fifth string, and then my fourth and my fifth. Pluck each string, please, starting from the fifth, from the second finger, second string. Okay, okay, that's a form again, right? The reason why in the original form, the D form, because the where your fifth finger is the same tune with the open string for the fourth finger, right? And then remember when I mentioned to you, when you form a D, you start strumming from the fourth all the way down. You don't strum the first two, right? So since I already have this, and the crucial note for the 135 is the third note. So this is the third note. So we already have the third note. So everything is there. But the original form for this is like this. Why am I showing this? What's the chord lower than the D?
C.
C, right? Okay, you lower 2 frets because there's a space. That's why the form of C is like this.
Oh. Nice.
Figure it out? Make sense?
Yeah.
So mean to say, if I'll strum lower, let's say D form, and I want to get an E, I'll move upward. This is my E now. And same sound as E. Does it make sense now?
Can we also do the D form?
You can also do the D form, provided that you clip from here and you do like this. Because remember, the D in the D form, this is clip supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to form an E, let's say like that, I can do like that. That's hard for the finger.
Yeah.
Unless you want to move forward. You want to move forward, but you don't strum the first 3 strings. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now, among among all the forms here, it's only the G that is very, very, shall I say, very
Special.
special. But there are also songs that you can just move this G. There's a secular song in the Philippines called, I know you're familiar with this one, El Bimbo.
Yeah.
The chord is like this.
Yeah.
So I'm just moving the G.
Hmm.
So that's a minor, and major. So tapos na tayo, right? So we'll go now to the other forms. So you remember I mentioned that why is it important for the guitars to number the. I mean, this is for my personal experience. Why is it important to number the notes? It's for the reason that when you change chords or when you modify chords, you will know which note to hit. Okay, so like I mentioned, why is it important to number the chords, the notes? Because it's where you can determine what are the different forms of the chord. Like for example, in the form of A, so remember I mentioned to you that after there's 1 to number 8, right? If I'll move further, it's in the next octave, right? So it's 9, 10, and 11. If I go up, right? But we also agree that the first and the 8 are the same. It's just a matter that this is a higher octave, right? So, given that premise, meaning to say, the second and the 9 are the same. Right? The third and the 10 are the same. The fourth and 11 are the same. So meaning to say, in a 1-3-5 theory, let's say if you see a chord like, instead of just A, sometimes you see Von put A2. So what does it mean? So meaning to say, you have to let the second note come out. Or the ninth chord to come out, ninth note to come out. So give me a form of A. Right? And that ring finger, yeah, pluck the string. What? Yeah, what note is that?
Me?
Yeah, so mi is what? Third, right?
Third, yeah.
So you want to make it, to become a minor, you have to move 1 fret down. Right?
Okay.
But you want to make it into an A2. You want the second note to come out. So mean to say there's a black and there's 1. So 2 frets.
Oh.
So you lower that down.
So,
Yeah, so that's the A2. In the clip form, the crucial for each form is this one for the F form, the middle finger, and for the B form, the crucial is the last chord. The last finger, because this is the third note. There's a lot of things that happen in the third. So if I make it a minor, this string, this finger should go 1 fret lower to make it a minor, right? But if I want to make it as A2 or a B2, so I have to move 1 more fret down to hit the second, because from the third and the second has 2 frets, remember? So meaning to say, if I say B and I say B2, so this note should go 2 more to to come out the second. But since this is part of the clip, so I'll just remove my fifth finger and it becomes a B2. So if I'll choose an A, so I have move 1, 2, that's why A2 is just 2. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when we say 2. Now, have you seen the chord? These are fancy chords, and you should have also flexible to your hand. It's not be strainful.
Yeah.
There's no stress when you do because you're strumming. You'll be staying there for like I say 10 to 15 seconds for that chord for that matter. And usually our setup is like a band, so there's a bass player. So the first 2 strings, and remember, are crucial for the bass. So that especially when the broken chords come, you don't touch those 2 up. Only the last 4 for the acoustic. Have you encountered this chord Asus?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? So actually Asus or Asus, there's a different, depends on what book are you following. Some will say sustain, some will say suspend. It means that this is equivalent to the 4th note, the A4.
No.
It's the 4th string. So for a guitarist, the 3rd note, or that you have to know where is the 3rd note for every chord that you want to project, or you want to you want to express in your fingerboard. So meaning to say, in this form, where's the 3rd note? The middle finger, right? So if I'll make it as a, let's say G, I'll make it into a G suspend. So meaning to say, I have to make the 4th note to come out. So I have to move the 3rd sharp. Why is it 4th? Because remember the 3rd and the 4th there's no space in between, right? Remember the 3 and the 4?
Yeah.
There's no black. Okay, good. So in the F, if you want to make it a suspend, so this 3rd finger you have to move one fret higher. So that's why when you say G suspend, it becomes like this. Because this one move. And in an A form or in a B form, you want it to become suspend, you have to move this.
Yeah. But hard, it's like
Why is it called sustain or suspend? Because you have only to sustain a few seconds. It doesn't stay that long. For every song, it's like an accessory. You have to go back. Now that's the 4th. Now here's another one showing you. So we covered the 2nd and the 4th. How about the 7? Seven. So you have to remember, in the chord, the guitar, there's 2 types of 7. When it's just say only 7. Sorry guys. If you only see like A7, it means a dominant 7. Okay? When you see 7, means it's a dominant 7. Sometimes Von write DOM 7. That means it's the dominant 7.
Okay.
Okay? And when Von writes, if there's a big M, it means like a major 7. Okay, now what's the difference of A7 and an A major 7? Major 7 meaning to say the exact location of the 7. That's why it's called A major 7. So you have to let this come out. Make sense?
Yeah.
Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
When the chord says A7 A or A dominant 7, it means you have to low flat 1.
It's the seventh chord.
The 7 chord, you have to have a flat.
Seven.
So it will be on this side.
Okay.
That's what it means by A7 or A dominant 7. And A major 7 is you have to hit the major 7. Why is it major? Because it is the part of the major note in from Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. So you have to hit the major 7. When you say A7 or dominant 7, you flatten the 7. Means say one fret lower. A, okay, let's go to A. So A. So this one, to make it easier, you have to locate the fifth, the one, because 1 is closer to 7, right? 1 and 8 are the same.
Oh yeah, 1 and 8 are the same. Yeah.
So this is the 1.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir.
The 1 is this one.
Oh. Okay.
So when I say A major 7 is the major 7, so you lower one fret. So it come out like this.
Yeah.
So that's A major 7. Make sense? Now when the chord says A7 or A dominant 7, you have to lower one more flat. So you release because it's already clipped, right?
Yeah.
So in a form of D, so when you form D form, this is the first note, right? This is the first note, or the 8th note, and you make it into 7, so you lower, so it will appear as like the 3, like this. And if you want to make it into a 7, you low one fret lower for this same string. So that is a 7. Make sense? Okay, now we're gonna go to. Let's go back to the minor. So let's say we already have A suspend 4 or the 4th, A7, A big M7. What if A small M7? Okay, it's actually only 2 fingers. Why is it 2 fingers? Why is it 2 fingers? Remember when we make the minor? Remember when we make the minor, the crucial is this one, right? We make it flat, the 3rd note, so it becomes flat. Now for the 7, remember, we start from the 1st note or the 8th note because 1 and 8 are close to the 7, right? So this is the 7. And then you lower, becomes a major 7. And then when you release, it's a dominant 7. So that's why when you form A minor 7, the last note will just 1 step lower. And this second should go 2 more. This one should go 2 more, but it's part of the clip. So if I make A minor, the 7, I have to release this to make it come out. So it's only 2. Make sense? Like for example, for a B4, I make it into minor, so like this. And I make it into 7, I just have to release this. Make sense?
Yes.
So the minor 7 is like from A, you make it into a minor. Remember? Because this one should go one flat lower, the third note. And this is the first and the 8 are the same, right? Remember earlier we do like this, and we gave a major 7 and a minor 7 and an A7, right? So it's like A minor, you add the 7. Yeah, that's why just 2. Now if you go to B, to a B form, you make a minor, and you make the this one, this note into a 7 to 1 to release. Yeah, that's a C minor 7. Okay, make sense? Like for example, for a G, this form. So let's make it into a minor. So this is the crucial. So I make it into a minor. So that's why I release, right? And my 8 is this one, the pinky. So I make it into a 7. So meaning 2 frets down. So I have to release 2. Because this one from here will go. So that will be the G minor 7. Make sense? And remember, Von put a chord like this: A minor 7 plus major 7. How would you do that? Actually, the exact form is ganito dyan. So A, right? And then you make it into a minor. And you want to make it into a major 7 is like this. But you have to because there's one more 7, the minor 7. It's a dominant 7. So you have to locate which 7. So this is it. Because if I release this note, remember, from A minor, and remember A major is I move the third. Remember? Yeah. And if I make it into 7, I have to release this, right? Become an A7. Yeah. So this string, is the same sound as this one. It's an octave, right? So I have to bring this out. So the chord says A minor 7 plus major 7. So A minor, and I have to make it into a 7. So A minor 7 is supposed to be this way, but I have to bring out the major 7 as well. So A major 7, then since this note is the same as this note, so I have to bring it out. So that what will happen is like this. So I have to hit this. It's nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And there was also one.
Yeah.
There's also one chord that Von put G minor plus major 7, and there was also one time G major 7 plus 2. It sounds complicated, but it's just a matter of putting the finger and making that note come out, to be exact. Okay, let's try. Okay, G minor plus major 7. So this, don't use this one because it's hard. So we're gonna use this form.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
So G says minor, release, and then major 7. So this one should go lower.
Okay.
So it's like this will go like that.
Okay.
So from here, this note should go one step lower to make it a major 7, right? Here to here.
Yeah.
So to make it easy for my finger, minor, major 7 is like this. Because I have to make this go one fret lower to make a major 7. So it's like this. Yeah. So G minor plus major 7. So G minor plus major 7. So since this chord is not as common, let's go to the A na lang para mas easier. So A major 7, and make it 2, you release this one.
Oh. Oh.
So only 2 is left. This. So that's A major 7 plus 2. It's just a play of numbers.
Same thing, same number.
Yeah, for here, you make it a major 7. Now, paano mo palabasin si 2? Yan ang crucial na question ngayon. So make it 2, you click. This one is 8. This is 2, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to lower this and don't strum this. Don't strum the upper 2.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
So, like what we were talking earlier, so it's a major 7 plus 2. So from A, we're using the A to make it simpler. So major 7 is you move which finger? This one, right? Because this is the A, so it becomes like this. Did you get it, Aaron?
What chord is that?
A major 7. A, make it into a major 7. Major 7, and then you make it into A major 7 plus 7. So A7 is plus 7. A major 7 plus 2. So you have to let the 2 come out. So you just have to release this.
I can see you guys again.
So that's the major 7 plus 2. Okay? Now let's move forward. Remember that A is from D here, right?
Yeah.
And F sharp is here, right?
Yeah.
So, mean to say the first 3 chords here is covered by the clip of F sharp. So, if I'll make it into a minor, somewhat the A is coming out. Would you agree? A is like this, F sharp is like this.
Okay.
So this 3 is under the cover of the clip.
Okay.
So
yeah.
F, if I release this, it become a sharp. F sharp minor, and if I release this one more because to make it a 7, so F sharp minor 7. So meaning to say, these three are coming out of the A. So that's why when you say F sharp minor 7, I have to release this second and clip here, and it sounds like F sharp minor 7 2 of A.
Oh,
This is your question earlier, Jed.
yeah.
Because some of the chords are relative. But there are some strings that you don't have to pluck, or it should then come out so that it will sound properly. So don't pluck the second string.
Second, yeah.
Yeah. Or the other form, the other form in the way you write it is like A2 over F sharp. It's a modified F sharp minor. Now, why I discuss this, because there are two in the chords. These chords are relative. Have you heard of relative chord? Okay, relative chords are, the other chord is major, the other chord is minor. Then for example, the major form is A, and the bass is F sharp. So just a recap again. So we got the 1 3 5 to make it a minor. The crucial chord or the note is the third, one of the crucial. Okay, always remember that the third. If you want to make a minor, it goes here. And if you want to make it as a sustain or suspend are the same, so you have to come out the fourth. And if you want to make as an A2, the first and the 8 are the same, so it's 2 and 9 are the same. So if you see a chord that says A9, that's equivalent to A2. Okay? And then we will cover also the minor, and then we make it into a minor 7, so we have to let the 7 come out. Or when you say major 7, you have to make the major 7 to come out. Okay? So basically, try to play around with the chords. When you see a chord that is lots of, like for this one, G major, G minor plus major 7, don't get anxious or don't stress out. It's just a matter of putting your finger where to put it. So don't get scared. Okay? So like for example, G major 7 plus 2. That's it. Don't get scared about that. It's just a matter of putting your fingers where. So basically, we covered everything based on my what you call this one, list of things that we have to discuss. So the relative chord is actually not part here. I just showed that because Jed asked a question. How come some F sharp are like that? But it's not part of my list right now.
Yeah.
So I hope this can help you in one way or another. Try to practice as much as you can, and then once you're okay with it, and if you have any questions, let me know. We can have another session for the accessories, or shall I say the next level.